I'm not asking about where you can get a visa or would you get a visa. I'm asking where in the world would you want to go?
There.
This episode was sponsored by NutriCon and the discount code is in the description below.
Perfect. What's happening, guys? Welcome to a new episode of Just the Radio. As you can see, I got this guy next to me. What's up, Kieran?
What's up, guys?
I gave this guy a warning to please speak properly into the microphone, and his first words were out of the microphone. You're not allowed to talk for the next 5 minutes. Gabi, what's up?
I know.
Kieran, actually, you can talk, bro. Whenever it's on me, you're in the shot, so you might as well talk. What's up?
Not much.
He was concentrating
too much
so hard
this weekend, to be honest.
But is this usually do work Sundays or don't?
Most Sundays, yeah.
Okay.
Definitely. I don't have work today, though.
Is that obviously viewings? But then obviously if you put up listings or whatever, that counts essentially as work.
I guess.
Like would you get like a new listing on a Sunday? Like do clients ever contact you on the weekend?
I can upload a new listing on a Sunday, but,
yeah, but
no
like
one's going to phone me on
confirmation.
a Sunday. Yeah.
I'm saying
I'm
like
not gonna phone a
confirmation
client
from
on
a client.
Sunday.
No, they phone you.
Oh, well then, yeah.
Do they ever contact you on weekends?
All the time.
Okay.
Every weekend.
It's tough because once you reply on the weekend, if you don't ever do it again, it's a problem with that client. It's true, bro.
I mean, I guess so.
And also with real estate,
You
like
just say
people
you're
have
in a
free
show
time
house.
on the weekend, so they want to message you at like the most inconvenient time, either late at night. They're like going through Property 24 and they're like, I'm going to message this person now, and they want you to respond then and there, or like Saturday, Sunday.
That is a problem, like with those kind of portals where they can, request to talk to an agent at any point. So if you don't reply in the first few hours, you might seem.
They've changed, so like Property 24, there's a new thing now where you can WhatsApp the agent directly. There's an option. So now it just comes through straight to your WhatsApp, not even your email. So it's kind of like, you might as well just respond.
What's the, because obviously you're still in real estate, what's the latest you think like you should reply to a client?
I've replied like really late at night, and they appreciate
I was gonna
it. Like
say,
they like if they didn't want you to message them at that time, they wouldn't send the inquiry at that time.
If
So
I'm awake and a client messages me, then I'll reply to them.
yeah.
What if you're like just getting back from Josie Gin Bar and it's like 3 in the morning?
No.
Just checking. I don't know how professional you guys are. I'm joking. You guys are very professional. Gabi, you were recently just in LA. Was it just LA?
Yeah. So I was actually supposed to go to Vegas for a weekend. And then, we were going to hire a car and drive because it's like a 5-hour drive. So it's not too bad. But then the night before, I was irresponsible. So when I woke up on that Friday morning, there was no way I was going to sit in a car for 5 hours and drive there. So I missed Vegas, but I was obviously so upset with myself. Like I got fucked and I missed the whole Vegas weekend.
Yeah.
But there's no point in going to Vegas hungover. Like that's just dumb. So I was just in LA.
And what did you do there mainly?
So I went there to find like business opportunities and meet people because I want to move there. Hopefully before August, end of the year, I want to move there. So it was worthwhile. Obviously, there was a lot of like partying and shopping and all the other stuff exploring while I was there. So on Instagram, it just looked like a big fat jaw. But
that's what you're going to put on Instagram anyway. Like
exactly. I'm not going to put me meeting up with people to talk about what I want to do there. But it was worthwhile. I did what I wanted to do. I did meet people and kind of figured out like a rough plan of what I want to do and what I need to do here before I go. But it was a close call to not coming home. If it wasn't for my dog, I think I definitely just would have been like, fuck it, illegal immigrants, I'm here.
And you've got a friend or friends there. Did they also help you, connect to these people that you needed to?
Yes, 100%. So my best friend, Christopher, he lives there. He moved there from here. And then obviously I went there in 2018 to compete in Vegas. And when I was there, I met a few people. So this time around when I went, I hit them up and I was like, I'm coming to the States, like let's link, and then met up with those people and they also introduced me to people. But the building that Chris lives in, my friend, where I was staying, is like, how do I put it in the right terms? It's like a celebrity building. So It's the newest building in Hollywood. And yeah, because of that, it's highly sought after by these like famous TikTokers and whoever it may be. So while I was staying there, I actually met majority of the crowd that I needed to meet in his building. Yeah, he's made friends with some really cool people as well. So he helped me network and yeah.
So, you know, going there, hopefully, you know, potentially, but before the end of the year, would you go there? I don't know how it would work in terms of like a work visa or whatever, but would you go there with things lined up or something like already guaranteed? Like what's...
So I have a plan and a backup plan. The plan is a secret for now. It's not really something I can speak about. And also if I speak about it, then I'm kind of ruining what's to come. But anyway, so I have a plan. If that works out, I won't need a working visa. And obviously, if that lands up happening, I'll share more on why and how I did it. Because I feel like it's also such a hard journey for people to take. I'd want to help anyone else trying to do the same thing. Because I've had to like literally go there, spend all this cash and like spend my time there trying to figure all these things out. So if anyone else wants to do it, I will like put this out there so that it's a little bit easier for them. But yeah, so I have that plan. If that doesn't work out, then I'll have to get a working visa, which is where people that side come in as well. There was a group of people that work for the same company, and they basically said that if my plan A doesn't work out, that they'd happily sponsor me, which basically means that they'll vouch for me and I'll work for them. And yeah, use that way to apply for a working visa. But they're so hectic with working visas. They don't just give them out. It's almost like having to prove that the company couldn't find someone there to do what you're going to do. So it's quite a process, but it's definitely worth it.
And so you're going to say something? Or you're just moving the mic?
I was just moving the mic.
Okay. So you've also obviously had a brand shift to more what they're actually doing there, and, you know, the types of Instagram posts that they're doing there. You know, what came about the shift? Did you kind of see like, okay, well, you know, this is what's working, let me do that? Or, you know, how did it come about?
So how it happened was like my Instagram has always been like, okay, for me, I was always focused on the same thing. I just didn't really have the direction. I didn't know what I was doing or how to do it. So I was just like going about it the wrong way, in the sense that my content wasn't up to scratch for the brands I wanted to work with. And like I wanted to head towards like fashion lifestyle. And yeah, just my pictures were not at the time. And then I've been friends with Rio Bridges for a while. We've known each other since we're like 17, 18. And we got a little bit closer at the beginning of this year. And I spent some time with her and saw what actually goes into it. Like because she's, I would say, hands down, one of the most successful influencers out of SA at the moment. So yeah, spending some time with her and seeing like what I had to do to get my content up to scratch, and also just like doing things that brands notice, you know, things that I had no idea about, small things like your feed having a certain aesthetic and a certain theme, and all your pictures kind of look the same, and like how you take them, the angles. And yeah, so her and her boyfriend Warwick, they kind of gave me advice. I cleaned out my Instagram, deleted like 95% of my photos, and kind of just started again. And then I also focused a lot more on doing collabs with people that were already up there. So I did those gym skits with Bahij and Noel, and those kind of like set me off again, because my following kind of lay stagnant for a while. I think I hit like 12,000 followers, and then it just stayed there. Like it wouldn't move, wouldn't go up, wouldn't go down. And then I did those videos, and that kind of reached out into the international market, which was super beneficial, because obviously that's where I need to be. So before those videos with Noel and
how did that collab happen? Was it them contacting you contacting him?
Yeah, so Noel, obviously I've known him for a while through the fitness industry, and he reached out on Instagram and basically said this guy Bahij, who's like a huge content creator, is in South Africa for a little while to film content with him. And it was basically just 3 skits that they needed me as like an extra for. But yeah, like those 3 videos took me from 12 to like 25,000 followers. So yeah, it was super beneficial. It like kind of pushed me past that ice that I was like stuck under. And yeah, now my following is only 40% South Africa, which is amazing for me. I want to get it as high as possible. Obviously the States and wherever else.
Kieran, bro, you would. Well, I just say your name and you laugh.
I don't have much to beat that, bro.
No. So, obviously, let's just say it's Kieran's physique is the closest to C-Bum. His name is K-Bum after all, that we're going to get in South Africa. And obviously, he's getting close to C-Bum. I just wanted to give you some compliments because I'm next to you. But,
Yeah, I'm in the hot seat.
Yeah, Gabi's the host today. She's going to lead us off. So, bro, in terms of, the type of content you've been posting, like, obviously, because, everyone pretty much that competes aspires to be like C-Bum. Do you look at some of his, style of posting, his videos, photos, or whatever, and try to replicate that? Or
to be honest, not really. If you had to, it's kind of weird. If you had to scroll through my Instagram, it wouldn't be that much bodybuilding. Like, there's a lot of other stuff going on. Like, so to be honest, no, not really. I just post what I want to post, to be honest. Like, I'll be bored and scroll through my camera roll and be like, it's a cool photo. And I'll just post
so you're saying like all those photos of your big legs aren't recent?
No, of course they're recent.
Okay.
Are you sure?
Okay.
Of course.
You said you scroll through
So
a
now we're
camera
doing
roll.
throwback.
Yeah, if it's recent, you wouldn't need to scroll.
Oh, everyone keeps photos of when they were shredded for when they're in the office.
Of course. Okay. So, you post, what do you take like when you're at gym? Like
I do both though. I still post while I'm in my office.
No, you do. So do you take like 40 photos when you're at the gym, and they're 40 good photos, and then obviously you use them for the next like 12 weeks of your bulk?
No.
Instagram tactics.
It's a good answer.
It's a couple of photos.
Okay. Well,
And
I mean,
just keep them.
yeah.
Do you have like a direction that you headed with your Instagram, or do you just post what you feel?
Pretty
Like
much
it's
just
not
post
really
what.
a brand for you, it's just you.
No, there is like
raw and
my
real.
brand, obviously. So everything I post has some sort of relation to like me and what I do. So whether it's my online coaching and whether it's my real estate, to be honest, my Instagram is pretty much just those two things at the moment. So,
But as Gabi, as you were saying, kind of just laying stagnant, and I'm definitely there. And actually, I can take advice from you in terms, because when I feel like posting something, obviously, but I'm not dead set. I'm more obviously the podcast. That's what I really care about growing. But with my own Instagram, there's no real thought into it. Like I'll be cycling, I'll take my GoPro, film something, edit, and put it together. But there's no like, okay, every Saturday I know I'm riding, so every Sunday I post a ride for people to look forward to, or. I've got this race on this day and I'm running, because that's the kind of where it's more going towards my social media now. It's kind of like a Nick Bear fitness type of guy where he's a hybrid athlete. I mean, I'm never going to try to do what he does. I mean, he does like ultra marathons and 100 milers, which is literally like running 160 kilometers nonstop. So like, I'm never going to get to that level. I don't aspire to be like that, but I definitely, can take your advice and post more on having that structure. And
like for me, like I'm not necessarily interested in being like an influencer or something. Like someone like you, for example, can do that. Like you have. For me, like don't have much interest in that. I thought you were going to me to talk closer to the mic.
No.
But I still know, like I understand there's still some sort of benefit that comes with your Instagram and
It's
your social
also
media
about,
pages
like,
growing. So I do take some like consideration.
Yeah.
Because obviously, I mean, for example, my online coaching, a lot of my marketing and all my clients come from my Instagram.
Yeah. It's also about like having a balance. I found with myself in the beginning when I first started doing this whole rebrand was that I was leaning more towards like a business looking Instagram. And I started realizing like a lot of my followers that have been following me like from the competing days and stuff, I've gotten so many messages, basically just like appreciation from my followers saying like, you've always like been real on Instagram, be it about my weight or training or my life in general, depression. And I didn't want to lose that aspect of my Instagram. So while like still keeping it professional and being slightly less emotional, I still try be real and raw on my Instagram so that it's like a little bit of both. I'm building my brand and I'm still like connecting with my followers on a relatable base.
Gabi, I got a question for you, and I'm sure many people want the answer to. We're actually all wearing Jordans. And it's actually related. Put your leg up, Kieran. It's actually related to Jordans. How many pairs do you have?
I think I have 26.
Jeepers.
And in how many years did it take you to accumulate 26 Jordans?
I'd say
Like 3.
2 years.
Oh my God.
That's crazy.
I started buying Jordans last year, so
It would be like one a month kind of thing.
at a point it was like that. Sometimes it was even more, and then it started getting a little bit out of control. So I was like, okay, chill. But yeah, if I see like a really unique pair that I love, you know, I get them. But I've kind of taken a step away from this whole like Jordan. I was like getting a little bit carried away.
And that's also the problem I think everyone experiences in certain aspects. You know, when I first started, when I just came out of school, and like even if when I was in varsity, obviously my parents are still giving me some money to survive. And I would literally
survive. Wow.
That's what it felt like. I was barely surviving.
You got money to survive.
Enough money to survive, bro. They weren't like, you have a full stomach at the end of the day.
had
I'm not
enough.
giving you enough for a full stomach. Like you can have 70% of a full stomach.
I usually go up to like 45.
Yeah, but that's bodybuilding.
Yeah, you're just always angry.
No, this was varsity, bro.
Oh, so what would you do with your money? Drink.
No.
Yeah, what
Not
would
really.
you do with your money, Kieran? Tell us.
If you
I don't
only,
have money in varsity. What do you mean?
yeah, but you
I
said
bought food with my money.
so the money you got only filled 40% of your needs.
Probably.
Listen, I had an ex-boyfriend. Let me tell you guys the spice. I had an ex-boyfriend, and he's 100% going to hear this, but I don't give a fuck. So he used to get a lot of money from his parents and used to spend it all on his gear, and I would have to pay for everything. Food, Wi-Fi, DSTV, rent, all on me, because all his money went to gear and like a little bit to food.
Hectic.
UJ paid for my food. It was actually quite
Yeah.
nice. No.
Oh, your
No.
food.
Food.
Okay. Yeah, you got, what, it was like 5K a month or something just for food?
No. So my parent, to be honest, like my rent didn't really give me that much. I think they gave me like 1,500 rand when I
Back
was in
then, that's
varsity.
maybe like
So that
3,000 now.
was, so then I would like buy food and all that kind of stuff because I was staying at Res, because I was playing rugby for the varsity, and then because I was playing rugby for the varsity, they paid for a whole bunch of stuff, and because of that, they gave me like another 10 grand per year to use towards food and stuff, just on like a student card.
Was it on the card that 10K could only be spent like in the cafeteria, or could you go to Pick and Pay? And,
Any pick and pay,
but could you go to, I don't know,
any pick.
Nike?
No, any pick and pay only.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
that's
they
kind of
knew
how-
you were
So
only
it's-
buying
yeah,
food.
so you could only buy stuff from Pick and Pay.
Okay.
So it was literally just food.
Yeah. So you obviously now going to LA, you want to obviously, you know, what we see, let's say, in terms of like, because obviously the people I would look up to are those people in LA that are doing podcasts. I mean, a lot of people don't like Logan Paul, but I really like him because I mean, the guy literally does everything. And no matter what he does, he always succeeds. I was going to say
Yeah,
excels.
that's
He always excels or succeeds in it.
Sucks.
I mean, he literally was just at the WWE. I mean, it's ridiculous what this guy has done fighting.
He reminds me a lot of you. Like, remember yesterday I was saying you, like, every time I go on my Instagram, you're like doing something different, but you don't just do it. You do it.
You should go to the WWE, bro.
WWE.
Yeah. Are we
Yeah.
like hinting at the next chapter?
What's the South African version? What's on like ETV? Or WWE?
Still WWE.
Still WWE.
Is there South African wrestling? Not
There's
wrestling
MMA,
as in real wrestling.
EFC.
Okay,
You're
no,
saying
yeah,
WWE
yeah.
is fake?
What, wrestling? Which type of wrestling? Olympic wrestling or like WWE?
WWE.
I think
It's
if
real,
any
bro.
MMA fighters listen to this, they'll be so hacked that I was talking about MMA and wrestling. in the same
Gabi
sentence.
likened UFC to
I didn't say
wrestling.
UFC, I said EFC.
Okay,
There's
okay,
a
but-
huge difference.
There is.
Gonna get myself in trouble on this podcast.
That was quite rude.
But
a
they
lot of
are-
fighters just got very offended.
No, but I mean, obviously the end goal is the UFC.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I mean,
So technically I'm not being offensive,
yeah, like
right?
everyone can agree to the fact that the UFC are more, successful fighters. Like that's the goal. So I mean, it's not offending anyone. What was I going to ask? You ask a question, Kieran. Put you on the spot.
I don't really want to ask any questions.
Do you want to answer something?
I'm scared of what you asked me.
Honestly,
to be honest.
if you speak anymore, you're gonna have to leave the room. It's getting a bit much.
Kieran, you also need to remember when I'm talking, right?
Yeah.
You're going to be in picture.
Yeah.
So have you been making sure that you're like, yeah, okay,
Yes.
cool. So you've been agreeing. Well, everyone's going to have known that up until this point.
Okay. That's fine.
Yeah, I think if you look at, so like for you now, I would say I look up to Logan Paul. But I wouldn't say I try and, because his brand is kind of still different to mine. But, is there someone that you look up to that, like over there in that lifestyle there, that you kind of aim to be?
Yeah, there is. And
Kim
I know
Kardashian.
some people.
No.
I mean, I love her. I love her, but no.
Megan Fox.
Jesse,
Love
shut
her
up.
too.
Dude.
No, I just saw you shared her
Quiet.
into your story yesterday.
I'm obsessed with her. Yeah, but no, she's not like she's in.
Hollywood, like acting.
Yeah, she's an actress. Like that's not what I'm trying to do. Did you guys watch Too Hot to Handle, the most recent season?
No.
But I know what you're talking about. I know the show.
what it is,
I
but
know the
I
show
don't
and the
watch
concept,
it.
but we don't
Okay.
know the people on it.
Okay, well, there's a girl on there. Her name's Holly. And she was like a huge hit on the show. She had like 12,000 followers before she went on, and she was like connected in LA and like popular and stuff beforehand. But anyway, she went on with 12,000 followers. I don't know how many she has now, shit tons. But basically, like what she did when she came off the show, she used all the connections that she had from this like newly found fame, and she just grafted with it. Like she took every lead. She's punted her business. She's worked on her brand. She just used every opportunity after the show, and now she's killing it. Like she's just doing so well. She's working with so many brands, and she's getting paid bombs, and she's living a fucking good life. And not just like being famous, she works really hard. So yeah, like I spent some time with her when I was there, and yeah, she inspired me and motivated me a lot, and kind of showed me like what I need to do heading towards that.
So like your end goal now, I wouldn't say obviously end goal because it's never an actual end goal.
Yeah.
But what are you kind of working towards in terms of like, because obviously setting goals is important, but have you set down like, I want to have 1 million by 2026 or whatever?
So it's not really about the followers. Obviously that comes with the rest. So I don't really focus on setting milestones with followers. I just set milestones in terms of growing, like my audience growing, me growing with my audience, because from that is business deals, working with brands, collabs, and I want to be earning off of social media. So like I mentioned, Rio, in South Africa, you do product exchanges, product trade. So I post for you and you give me free clothes. I don't want to do that anymore. I want to get paid to be posting, which is what Holly and Rio and all these people do. They get paid to post. They don't mess around with little clothing exchanges. So that's part of the goal, but basically I want to build my own company and my own brand. But that will all stem from networking, that side, which comes from the influencing side of things. So basically I want the influencing to open up all the other opportunities for me. That makes sense.
And I think what you mentioned is a big problem in South Africa. People just like, cool, I'll post for you this month if you give me a stack of supplements. And
it's just like underselling yourself. Like,
and I don't want to like take this, put this name of the brand or whatever, but I got a company that says, hey Jesse, can we send you some rings, and then you review them and then post it online and you can keep the rings. And like, yeah, it's cool to be offered free rings, but I honestly don't wear jewelry, so like it's not really on brand with me to go do something that I didn't do just to get some free stuff that I probably wouldn't wear.
Yeah, 100%. Exactly. That's what I mean. Like, and you're right. It is really a South African thing. The thing is though, like our influencing market is so much smaller.
It's like non-existent.
Because we're
a bunch of like micro influencers.
100%. I don't want to say there's no funding, but the funding that they have overseas set aside in their marketing department for influencers and influencer collabs is ridiculous. The amount of money these people are getting paid, like teenagers are millionaires these days because of social media. It's crazy. So like after being there and seeing like how things work there, and then coming back here and like getting DMs on Instagram for a free pair of gym tights, like I just know where I want to be, and that's not where I'm at.
Were there any
anymore.
parts that you didn't like?
So it's super expensive. It is ridiculously expensive. That's why I realized while I was there as well, I can't, because initially my plan was just go.
Yeah.
Like take my dog and my birth certificate and get on that plane. And after I went, I realized that I would last less than a year there, and I would chow through all my savings because it's so expensive. You literally can't be there without a plan. You need to have if not more than one source of income before you go, and like a solid, stable job, or just so you know that you're going to be getting funds there. Because us with rands, it is crazy. And even when I was telling the Americans like what it costs, like stupid things like to have a steak here, I was telling them in dollars. They were like, there's no ways that's what you pay for food.
That's why all the Americans or the Europeans, whoever, just come to South Africa. I mean, they can have this insane holiday that costs them like a 20th or 15th
That's what I was
or
telling
whatever.
them. A lot of them that have never been here or considered it, I was like, I was telling them predominantly about Cape Town. Obviously, I wasn't really hunting to come to Joburg.
Come to Benoni.
But I was telling them about Cape Town and showing them photos and videos and stuff. And I was telling them how little they would need to have like a bomb holiday. And they were like, what? Are you sure? Like accommodation, food, transport, like everything. They couldn't believe how cheap it is here. It's like, the rand is going strong.
Kieran, bro, would you ever go overseas?
Yeah, definitely.
To live? I don't mean a holiday.
I mean, I wouldn't want to. Like right now, I've like got no intentions of it, but I think I definitely would, 100%.
Where?
Well, I've got a British passport, so I can kind of...
I'm not asking about where you can get a visa, or would you get a visa. I'm asking where in the world would you want to go?
I'm getting there.
Whoa. Bring the energy down.
I wouldn't want to live in the UK. Or even Europe, I'm not even like that keen on. So probably, if I could, probably
Russia.
the States. Probably the States.
Yeah.
My laugh sounds like that chick from, what's that show?
Oh, that one.
What's her name? The blonde one.
For which show?
Ridiculous.
Oh, Ridiculousness. Yo. See, like that's another thing Logan Paul's been on. He's been on Ridiculousness. Like,
I know someone here that's been on Ridiculous. Okay, he wasn't physically there in the studio, but there's this guy. Shame, I'm not going to say his name because he actually hates that video. But he was in a car and it was spinning. It was doing donuts.
so he was like one of the videos that they posted.
And while they were doing donuts in the car, he fell out of the car, but he stood up afterwards. Like he just fell out of a spinning car. Okay. He rolled out of the car and he stood up and he walked away from the car like nothing happened. And it is the funniest thing I've ever seen. And I've known him for a while now. And like all our friends only told me a few weeks ago, they're like, did you know he almost said his name. Did you know he was on Ridiculousness? And then I searched the video and it is hilarious.
You must send it to us, please.
I'm going to show you.
We need to see this video. What like show would you, or like if it's even a bodybuilder podcast, or what would you like to be on? Like an I don't know. Interviewed by, I don't know, Ronnie.
No.
You don't like Ronnie? Was he before your time? No, I mean like he's not like an OG bodybuilder for you. It's like Phil Heath.
I don't even would I want to do it bodybuilding?
Okay, so then what would you
that's
like?
What I'm trying to decide.
So like you go on like, I don't know, one of those late night talk show and talk about how much money you made selling houses. Or like Ryan Sohan's podcast.
But no one wants to hear about that. That's not something that people want to listen to. That's just like real estate is boring for people, bro.
No, it's not.
Well, not for real estate agents, except for me. I find quite fucking boring. But when we're in the office, like they watch that shit and they enjoy it.
I watch it.
Yeah,
I'm into real estate as a house.
I watch Selling Sunsets if that counts for anything.
Yeah, but I think we both know there's nothing like the real thing.
I watched that and I quit my job and I went to go sell houses. And let me tell you, we don't live in a Selling Sunset land.
No.
But I mean, if you look at lawyers don't watch Suits. If you look at if you look at doctors don't watch Chicago Meg. You know, like it's not realistic. I mean, think about Grey's Anatomy. Do you think that's what happens in a hospital? You think it's the African government hospital? That's what's going on? No.
I still don't have an answer to this question.
So, like, don't you? Okay, let's just say you holding. Is it also the Sandow when it's the classic physique trophy? Or is that just the
it's not.
bodybuilding trophy?
No, that's just for the bodybuilding.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is like that your end goal, to hold that trophy?
Facts. 100%.
Okay.
What about you, Jace? Would you live overseas?
Yeah. I would definitely go to America if I had absolute certainty that, you know, I can take my business there and there's a market. Obviously, there's a market, but, you know, like that there's guaranteed I've got clients set up already when I'm there.
But we also have a lot of freedom here that you don't have overseas as well.
It's
like,
true.
there's a lot of things that we are able to do.
What, getaway
Well, like-
speeding?
Just like specific things, like with certain things that come into play with standard of living.
No, it's true. I mean,
There's
you can
a lot
have
of
you
stuff
can have
that
a big
you
garden.
lose when you leave South Africa.
Yeah.
I don't know. Every country has its.
But then you kind of need to go to those places. Like, I would love to go to Texas.
Yeah.
Like, 'cause
That's where Noel moved.
yeah, like you can get a property with garden.
Yeah.
I mean, go to New York. You're not gonna, other than maybe on the outskirts, but then you still pay a fortune.
Yeah.
Get
That
a
was another crazy thing for me. Like in LA, in this building, it's like a 18, 19 story building. Everyone has dogs in these small apartments, like up on like the 14th floor. And they have these massive dogs. Whereas here, like I have a garden, like it's not huge, but it's like bigger than this room. I have a garden. And everyone was like frowning upon me. They were like, how can you get a bully? Look at the size of your house. And then I went to LA and there's like these massive, crazy dogs in these apartments. And like when I got there, I was like, what the hell? How can you guys keep your dog in this small apartment? And they were looking at me like, what do you mean? Like, what do you mean we can't keep our dog
they
here?
got offended the way you got offended.
Yeah, they were like, what are you talking about? Like, this is how dogs live. Like, what are you trying to say? What do you want us to do for our dogs? I was like, whoa, I was just saying like a garden or something, like nothing hectic. But yeah, sorry, that was a little bit off topic.
No, it's cool. We like
What were we
tangents.
talking about?
Your goal, bro.
No, we were talking about you moving
We're
overseas.
talking about you moving, yeah.
Me overseas. Yeah, I would definitely. I think I'd like to go to, I don't know, Texas.
I don't see you leaving South Africa, bro.
I probably won't. There's too much money to make here.
I don't see you leaving South
says.
Africa.
I genuinely, I don't have the intention of doing
Yeah,
it, but
neither
I'm
do
not
I.
closed off to it, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, if the opportunity was there, I would do it. But if you just look at South Africa, I think if you just look at the, as you were talking about, you know, the lifestyle, the standard of living, there is a lot that you can get here that you can't get there, but there's a lot that you can get there and can't get here.
100%.
And the people, bro.
The people are nice in South Africa, but I think there could be nice people in different parts of the world. I think maybe if you from America and come here, you might think the people aren't nice, you know?
True. Fair.
Yeah, I mean, if you go to Cape Town now, if I live in Joburg for half my life and go to Cape Town, it's going to take me several
Yeah.
years before I find a, you know, a group that I can
Yeah.
click with.
Yeah, that's why I moved back.
How was that whole journey?
So obviously I moved there for an ex, which was just dumb.
But it was long ago, eh?
Yeah, 20 year moved there. I think it was 2017, and then came back 2019. And Cape Town's amazing. Like I love Cape Town. I think if I wasn't planning on leaving South Africa, then I would definitely want to go back there. I just feel like it's a better quality of life. Like you live a little bit more than you do here. But yeah, I struggled to make friends. I wasn't studying at the time, so I wasn't like going into a varsity and seeing people. I was opening that nail salon. So yeah, like I didn't really meet people, and the friends that I did make were through my ex, which when we broke up obviously wasn't ideal. So yeah, Cape Town can be super lonely if you don't manage to make friends and like find a little circle. It can be super lonely. But in terms of actual Cape Town, it's such a beautiful and like uplifting place to live.
Well, guys, Jester Studios is coming to Cape Town. That's a fact. Give me 2 years. Okay.
2 years.
Give me 2 years and
Thank
it's going to be
you.
a podcast studio in Cape Town.
We'll do it in one.
Okay.
I'll
But we'll
back
give you
that.
2 years. But we won't need 2 years.
2 years, bro. Watch. I mean, how many podcasts just podcast themselves are there in South Africa?
Yours are the only one I know of, to be honest.
They are.
I've
They
never
are.
really
There's
watched
like,
another
I
South
think the
African
biggest
podcast.
South Africa is probably like Mac G. I don't know how, like he's got like 600,000 subscribers.
I'm just saying, I personally haven't watched any other South African
Yeah.
podcasts.
But I
used to watch or listen to Millie's podcast.
Who's this? Millie?
Millie from South African Love Island.
Oh, didn't she do like 2 episodes or something though?
She did a few. I don't know how many it was.
I did listen to the one because I wanted to see, obviously, if I got some competition coming in or what's going on. But obviously,
what did you think, bro?
I listened to like 5 minutes.
So no
Didn't sound as quality as this. So did you ever hang out with her?
Yeah, I've hung out with her once or twice before. I think she's cool. Like, a lot of people misjudge her and misunderstand her as a person, but I think she's really cool. She's like unapologetically herself. That's what I kind of did like about the podcast, was that she didn't really care what people were going to say. She didn't care if people didn't like it. She spoke openly and honestly about things in her life and like things that other women relate to as well, and even guys. And it was just raw. So yeah, she did get some hate for it, but I like that about her.
I think that's also, as we're talking about South Africa versus America, in America she would have got praise for being
100%,
raw. But in
100%.
South Africa, if you do things that, because we are, less progressive essentially than what they are in the States. So if she talks about a sexual encounter,
It's a
massive deal, in South Africa especially. And then overseas, every single podcast they're talking about some sort of thing that they did on the weekend with
and
some
they're a
other
lot
person.
more raw and vile about it than what we are here. I was actually saying to someone yesterday, they were like, yeah, but what is it about South Africa? And I hate to say this,
people are just sensitive,
but like, South Africans are so small-minded. Like, they don't understand things. Like, it's like they don't want to understand things that they don't relate to. So like things like that, like talking raw, open and honest about sex or sexual encounters or whatever, genitals, like steroids, like people get so offended so easily. But like, these are everyday things. Like, this is life. We're all human beings. We all like can resonate with that type of stuff, even if you don't say it. And Americans are so much more open with their energy. Like, they don't, obviously, like there are part like aspects where they are a lot more sensitive. Like, when it comes to sense of humor, I find that they're a lot more sensitive. You can't joke about the same stuff. But in terms of like, even things like OnlyFans, if you have an OnlyFans here in SA, you're seen as like a hoe bag. Like, I've gotten messages from girls saying, oh my God, have you seen she started an OnlyFans? And I'm like, yeah, bro, like, let her do her thing.
She's making quite a good amount of
money,
money probably.
Bank. Yeah, she's making bank. Like, and that's what I want to do this year. I mean, I'm not saying like I want to go make bank. But you see, I shouldn't have to say that. I shouldn't have to say, yeah, I mean, not that I want to open an OnlyFans, but that's a South African thing. Like, oh, OnlyFans. Everyone I met in America had an OnlyFans and they were making bank off of it. Like, a guy with a child, like, and he's happily in a relationship. He's just had a baby, but he's making bank on the app. So like, why the fuck not? But in South Africa, it's like.
But also, I think people in South Africa might just assume that it's completely nude every single time when it's not. I mean, OnlyFans doesn't have to be that.
It's
I mean, you can literally, Kieran can go and take a photo of his quads flexing and, or behind the scenes of his training, behind the scenes, and like those people that really like you and want to follow your journey, they can see it. It's not like you're posting a photo of your junk. You can still 100%. Be.
That's what it was probably originally designed for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably not. Maybe a little bit of both.
Yeah, to be honest.
Do you know that in TikTok's Chinese, it was developed by the Chinese. Chinese or Japanese, but in America and the rest of the world, they promote, dancing and those kind of things. But in China or Japan, whichever country developed, I think it's China, developed TikTok, only promote when like kids that do amazing, like let's say, because I mean it is more popular with, under 25, let's say. They would do things like amazing engineering things or a kid doing something that's incredible, like building the world's biggest Lego, or like a silly example like that. Like they would just, or like a kid reciting some poem, like that's literally what they promote in China to try and, uplift and get people to not just go and dance or not just go and do those things that actually doesn't really benefit society other than entertaining people. And that's what they do in China. They literally just promote and put on people's explore page.
Yeah, that's
those kind of things,
amazing.
because it's those constructive things that our kids will be like, yo, I can also get famous if I can do a how-to video at home on how to fix a tap or whatever. Like, those kind of videos, you see them quite often where it's like life hacks, and then they show you what to do with an old pan, or like those kind of things are the things that they promote.
Yeah.
Overseas, when the rest of the world, it's what? Dancing and what else?
Anything that's funny, yeah.
And even with stuff like that, like, I'm going back to this. I'm like hating on South Africa today, but I love South Africa. But in SA, like, think about it. If you see someone walking around vlogging, like recording themselves, or like, and I'm guilty of it myself. Like, you look at them and you're like, what are they doing? Like, whereas
how many people you think have looked at me?
I was gonna say.
But like, it's like overseas, no one cares. Like, no one cares what you're doing.
No.
Like, you record yourself, you're dancing in the middle of like a supermarket. Like, no one cares. Like, just do your thing.
Have you seen that Instagram?
Minds their own business.
Have you seen that Instagram account, Influencers in the Wild?
Someone sent it to me yesterday.
Like, it's the kind of video where, like, as you're talking about, like a girl, let's say dancing in the middle of the street, let's say in Times Square. Then it's someone that's in a shopping, like in a side shop, filming this person like through the glass, and it's like this influencer spots in the wild, and it's ridiculous. Some of these things, like a girl will be like twerking half naked on the beach, and then like there's kids running around, and then there's people are like filming it.
I saw one. This chick was standing. I think it was a cricket game or whatever. It was like a sporting arena thing, and she was standing in the front by the rail. You know how like in a stadium it goes up?
Yeah.
Like all the people were like looking down at her, and she had her one leg up, and she was like twerking, and she had her ass out, and like everyone's watching her, and then this person recording just zooms into like her, and then she like stops and she turns around, she looks at the phone, and she looks at it and she goes, it's good.
I think that's worse. If you've got like, let's say, a tripod and a ring light and you're dancing in public, it's worse than if someone's filming. If someone's filming, it's slightly more like, okay, that's fine.
I feel better if someone's filming.
Yeah.
Like, if I walk through a public place, I struggle so much. I don't think I've ever done it, to be honest. Like, just recorded myself.
It does help, also what you think people are thinking, because if you've got a cameraman following you or filming you or whatever, then
it's like, oh, she's filming content.
Yeah, she's legit.
Yeah.
When are you going to get a cameraman for gym, bro?
No, I don't think I could, bro.
You could.
I mean, if actually,
at Move they would
my
let
one
you.
mate that I actually coach him now, Gareth.
He did a cool video.
He made
for
that
you.
video of me with that leg day. So him and I will start filming quite a bit as well, because we're gonna be working together. So yeah,
Working together?
no, I'm saying as in I'm coaching him and things. So yeah, so we definitely want to start filming.
Because at
more
Move
often
they'll
and things.
definitely let you. Yeah.
No, they've got no problems with it there at all. And
Bro,
he's good.
Virgin.
He's very, very good.
I can't understand Virgin Active's methodology behind.
No, it's stupid.
I mean, the
Doesn't
amount
make
of
sense.
times in varsity, Assad and I got moaned at and like almost literally kicked out of the gym for filming. And I mean, we said to them, your gym, we're doing training videos. We're like promoting health and gym. And how is that detrimental to your brand?
Them.
Yeah.
No, 100%. So Move doesn't have any issues with that kind
Nor
of
does
stuff.
Gold's actually enjoy it.
Promotes it.
They've filmed so many
Yeah,
TV
same with Move.
series.
If you post something, they repost it on their page.
There's like a Netflix show that they were filming at Gold's, and it's like a good thing. All the branding's in the background. Like,
exactly. Yeah.
why would you say no?
But they also, fortunate with the name. Obviously, they're paid to get the name, essentially, and get the rights in South Africa. But just the name Gold's Gym, already just like, okay, cool, it's going to be a good gym. Like,
Yeah.
I mean,
I've actually never been there.
I've also never been
I've never
there.
trained there. Nah.
I've never been.
I've never ever been there.
Never been invited. Never been anything, but whatever.
This is a formal invite for you
Okay.
to come to Gold.
What are we training, Kieran? We're going to go train
Join
legs
the
with
brighter
Gabi.
side of life.
What are you doing? Legs.
Golds.
Doing legs.
I'll follow you, bro.
My legs can't keep up with your legs anymore. Kieran, what are you squatting these days? Like 300? Nice.
No. I'd break in half.
So what are you doing? Like
Like
295?
220.
Dude, that's very heavy.
That's heavy.
That's strong, bro. And on like prep,
On a good day. Hey?
what did you squat today? Because you just at
200.
200.
Yeah.
Dude, that's
Prep,
very heavy.
but prep, I train the same during prep. So when I'm like
Yeah,
2-3
but you're
weeks
not
out,
gonna
I
be
still
as
squat
strong.
200 during prep.
Oh, so don't lose any strength.
Only from like that 2 week out mark, I'm pretty much fine up until that point. Yeah.
Impressed, bro.
Because then we start depleting and then I start, then I'm done.
Oh,
I'm
2 weeks.
useless.
2 weeks of depletion. Shame. You're done with competing, yeah?
Yeah. I was debating it for a while. I know the last time we spoke about it, when the last time we did a podcast, And I did think about it for a while. I was interested in doing a prep natural and like doing like a healthy prep and like showcasing the whole thing. But yeah, I don't know, my life kind of took a turn. I don't really have the time or the dedication right now to go through another prep. So I think I can confidently say I'm done for good.
And it was obviously because you wanted to focus on other aspects of your life.
Yeah, that, and I honestly didn't like how I looked. I started getting way too big. From the beginning, I said I didn't want to get big, and it kind of just went there, you know, step by step. Like I just was growing and growing.
Now you're going to make girls think that if they start training, they're going to get massive.
No ways. I competed for 10 years.
Yeah.
Like it didn't happen overnight.
Because it is a big thing with some girls is they think
that if they lift a weight that they're going to grow muscles. I wish it was that easy. Like imagine squatting and your ass just grows. Like, it's so difficult. Like it doesn't work like that. But yeah, I didn't like how I looked, and also I was just super unhealthy. Like my hormones were all over the place. I was picking up weight and like I couldn't lose weight, which I found out was my thyroid, which I'm still on medication for today. And yeah, I don't know. I achieved what I wanted to. My goal was to get my pro card, and I always said that I would stop at that point, and I still competed after that. So yeah, just kind of lost my passion for it, and that's when I knew like I can't be dedicating my life to someone to please other people.
Yeah.
I was doing it because I felt like everyone expected me to, especially after I got my pro card. Like now I was a pro and everyone was like, what's next? You know, what's the next step? And then I rushed myself into Worlds, which was also just, I was not ready for that. I mean, Hattie Boydell was on my wall for like 3 years. I used to wake up every morning to do my cardio and I'd look at her and like she was like my motivation, and I stood next to her, and yeah, that was rushed for me. I would have loved to have done that in the right state of mind and even my body as well, to show that I was up there with those women, you know, or could have been up there. But yeah, like I lost my head in that game and I started developing like serious body dysmorphia. I was like, when I was skinny, I thought I was fat. When I was fat, I thought I was like, it was just like, it was so unhealthy. I was never happy with myself ever.
Kieran, final question for you, bro, to close us off. Obviously, you're very invested into business and work, and you're obviously very invested into bodybuilding. So now, which would you choose? Let's say bodybuilding starts to encroach on your business and you know, you may be earning less, but it's like, it's fine. I'll list less houses, whatever, and, you know, try press for sales less, as long as I can be more successful in bodybuilding or not.
That's a tough question, bro, because you need the business and the money in order to do bodybuilding. So I guess it kind of depends on
what do you love. Which do you love more, business or bodybuilding?
Oh, of course. So obviously, I mean, I love business 100%, but bodybuilding is, I mean, it's like a passion.
Yeah.
You know, so it's
if you had to choose one,
different things. Like, I don't want to stop bodybuilding.
Okay, here's a question.
Plan on stopping bodybuilding.
Here's a question: would you be a professional bodybuilder that earned tons of money, or would you be a businessman that earned tons of money and is doing?
I mean, it's a broad. I mean, I would be a professional bodybuilder that could earn tons of money, 100%.
But you could also run businesses, also while doing that.
But that doesn't mean I can't still be a businessman on top of that. 100. Every bodybuilder, even the guys that aren't even at the top of the bodybuilding scene, some of them are making more than the guys that are at the top. Because yes, they're good bodybuilders, they're fantastic bodybuilders, but they're also very good businessmen.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
that answers my question, bro. Thank you.
But like with regards to real estate and stuff, as well, like I really enjoy it. So if I can do both, which I have been for years now, then I don't see why not. As long as I can do them both well, and yeah. I don't know.
No, that answers the question, bro. And thank you guys for joining me. Thanks, Gabi, for hosting us. And thank you guys for listening. Cheers.